So around this time last year in January, I I stopped drinking and I stopped smoking weed. I was never really a big weed smoker anyway, but I I came to the realization that my life wasn't gonna get better or change unless I got better and changed. And so I changed what I knew I could change, and I made better what I knew I could make better. And that was to stop drinking, stop getting high. And you can ask my wife. I mean, if you were to ask her, I don't recommend you find a way to ask my wife anything. But that, I didn't have a problem with alcohol. I didn't get super stupid and or mean or anything like that. But I'd still have a beer every day. I do laborious work, and I know that in construction, a lot of, or probably most construction workers, they come home and they have a drink or a smoke or something. So this video is really more about how we use all these different things in life to numb something. And I wanted to make a video about why we numb, what it is that we're numbing, because I didn't really know. It's kind of easier for someone who has a trauma, because it's clear what they're numbing. They're numbing the fact that their dad beat them or whatever, or they're numbing the fact that their divorce was terrible or whatever. But for me, I have a wonderful life, a wonderful daughter, a wonderful, very pregnant wife, which, by the way, is why I'm making the video while I do this, because I need to get two things done at once, because we have to go to Costco and do all kinds of other stuff today. So I can't just sit down and talk in front of the camera. At least that's what I tell myself. So, I didn't know why I was using alcohol as often as I was. I had no reason to numb, but I was still numbing. There I was, numbing all the time. I have a small fireplace, by the way. That's why I'm grabbing small ones. And so I wanted to figure out, what kind of person I am without drinking. And also I wasn't really making a whole lot of money, because it was January, right? This was a year ago, so January. And wasn't having a whole lot of income, basically just kind of going off of what I had made for the year and what I had saved. And so it didn't make sense to buy beer. I got to buy food for my family. It's like you can't have $100 budget a month for beer when you have a family to feed, and you're hardly making $1,000 that month. So as far as alcohol goes, I go the year, and that was pretty easy. And well, I'll touch on weed in a minute, because that's just kind of a different beast and it does something else. But alcohol straight up just makes you stupid. It just makes you a stupid person. And it really doesn't matter who you are. I used to think it brings out the worst qualities that you have. But now I think it brings out the worst qualities that you wouldn't have without alcohol. Like, those qualities just probably would never come out otherwise. And so that's kind of like terrible. It's like, okay, alcohol brings out the worst in you that you otherwise wouldn't experience and other people wouldn't have to experience. But it's the most social thing to do. Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying don't drink alcohol. What I'm saying is, when you get drunk, you get stupid. And I don't care who you are. I've seen great men get absolutely stupid, and beautiful women get absolutely ugly off of alcohol. And I've seen it in myself. And so a part of the big motivation for me to stop drinking was I wanted to know what it would be like to never be embarrassed again, or to never embarrass myself. So I wanted to stop drinking. And that's also an old Jim Rohn quote, or Dan Kennedy, or Tony Robbins. I don't know, one of those guys. They kind of said the exact same thing, and then I heard them say that, and I went, "Oh yeah, that was it for me too." Because I just got tired of waking up the next day being like, "Oh, I feel like I said a bunch of dumb things," and I just got tired of feeling that way. And I know everyone can relate with that. We get to this point to where we certain things in life make us feel like crap, and so I want to go back to that numbing. I want to talk about what it is we're numbing, because it might not be a trauma. Maybe it's our greatness that we're numbing. Maybe we're afraid of how amazing we can be, how productive we can be, how much money we can make, what a great provider we can be, the type of speaker we could be, the type of people we could influence, how big we could get in this world. Maybe we're afraid. Maybe that's why we smoke weed and drink on our off hours when we're done doing what we have to do to survive, and we fill the rest of our time with these numbing agents to make us feel good, instead of turning ourselves on even more to really go after the thing that we want to go after in life. And it's a constant battle. So I want to talk about that numbing in a second, but I got to transition here because this is the longest it's ever taken me to fill a wheelbarrow full of wood. And I don't want to hate myself because it took me an hour to fill a wheelbarrow of wood. My wife will make fun of me. So let's transition here. I'm going to go empty this and come back with another one. We all have excuses too. Like everyone's life is hard, I get it. And if alcohol or weed or something is going to make it easier for you, it's like, okay, that's fair enough. But you got to know that there's another way. You don't have to shut down. You don't have to stop being the greatest version of yourself in order to make life tolerable, because life is so much more enjoyable when you are more alive. And I think that's the trap, is we think that alcohol makes life fun, and it makes relationships better, and it makes hanging out with your friends more fun. And after a year of not doing that, that's the opposite of the truth. I've had nights around the fire for the first time this year with friends where I'm not drinking and they're not drinking. And that's the most that we've laughed since we were like 14 and not drinking. I mean, that we can remember, because that's the thing. You could laugh your butt off and be really, really drunk with a group of friends, and then no one really remembers what you were even laughing about. So it doesn't even matter. But we can remember exactly what made us laugh, and that's priceless. And that's just one example of everything in life. It's like you can be conscious and you can remember everything, like you are when you're a kid, and it makes being curious in life, more accessible. And curiosity is the most important thing, because it's the driving force of learning. If you're curious about something, you want to learn about it. It's not work anymore. If you want to be a programmer, or you want to be a musician, but you have a full-time job that you have to do, and then you get home and you have a bottle of beer, that curiosity drive goes down. Whereas if you don't, what I've learned is if you just don't drink and you don't smoke and you don't do anything to numb yourself, you just have this drive that's there to be curious and to learn about the thing that you want to get good at. And then it's not work after work. It doesn't feel like work anymore, in the same way where, okay, I'm going to drink a beer and then I'm going to try to go write a song. For me, I'm a songwriter. It doesn't feel that way anymore. Now it's just, that drive is naturally there. So I kind of got off of what I wanted to talk about a little bit, but that's okay. I don't think anyone's going to see this video anyway, because people usually don't watch the very first video on a YouTube channel. Usually it takes a while. Let me think about it for a sec. So, and then you have weed. And weed, in a similar way to alcohol, just makes you dumb. Here are the things weed doesn't do that you might think it does. Enlighten you, help you tap into a higher state, a higher vibrational state, make you more aware, make it easier for you to see and appreciate colors and all this stuff. And it might be true on a very, very surface level, but these are all like excuses people use to keep on smoking weed, or it makes them relaxed. And my theory is it does none of those. And they all become excuses and lies that we tell ourselves in order to keep using cannabis to numb ourselves, so that we don't have to use our brains at full capacity, so that we don't have to chase our big goals, because we're incapacitated. If you're drugged up, that's the best excuse to not try. If it's the same thing. If you're too tired, if you're not getting enough sleep, you probably aren't going to go work on the most important thing you could ever work on in your life. You're probably going to wait until you have a good night's sleep to do that. And it's the same thing. If you're smoking weed, if you're getting drunk, that's just the best excuse. That you immediately, in that moment, the moment you take the hit, the moment you take the drink, you have a reason to not try. And I think this is what's killing so many men and their futures and their families that either they have or will never find. And I think this is the main thing that is destroying young men's lives, is the fact that they're too comfortable having their bullshit excuses and using these substances that aren't inherently bad, but they overuse it, and they use it, and then the moment they use it, they have that excuse not to try. Whereas men today, we need every single excuse we can get to try. We need every reason to try because no one's doing it for us. We don't have elders anymore, or older men or teachers or anybody pushing us. It's a life of ease, and men aren't needed anymore. I'm needed. I am very needed in my personal life that I have made for myself. And it is the best feeling I've ever had. All my money goes to my family. All my time goes to devotion towards the bigger picture of my life. For what reason? For my family and for God. None of it is, I've worked through it enough to make it so none of it is for me. And I don't want to get into that too much because that's not the purpose of this video. But that's the deepest fulfilling thing for men. And most men live for themselves. They every dollar they earn goes towards a video game, towards a new TV, towards a new pair of shoes, towards whatever crap. None of it is sacrificial. And they're numbing their brains, their souls, their spirits. And like, listen, I did the same thing. Like, I've come out of it. I'm out of it. I don't do that anymore. And I'm a billion times happier. And I have so much more reason to live. No wonder men are killing themselves. No wonder. Because there's no push. There's no external push from elders to make you do better, which men need. But so if that's not around, what are you going to do? Your last chance to become a great man during the course of your life, not so that people remember you, not for any really external or philosophical reason, really just for the reason of so that your life wasn't a waste. Because it's such a beautiful thing to be given a body, the ability to run, the ability to jump, the ability to provide for a family. I mean, these are just the most beautiful things in life that you don't want to miss out on. And if you're missing out on these things for video games and just fake pleasure, porn, fake pleasure, video game accomplishment, fake pleasure, all this fake pleasure, fake money in video games, all the way down that line, your life has been a waste. You might as well just been the NPC inside of the video game. You might as well have just been AI. I care so much about this topic because life can be so beautiful, and there's so many people, so many young men that are not experiencing this beauty that they could just take. I mean, they could, if you can just get rid of the alcohol and get rid of the drugs and get rid of the video games and the porn, and just try, though, you know, it doesn't all have to be at once. It's just a gradual course of working through thing after thing. For me, it was alcohol. Okay, I got rid of alcohol. Okay, great. Now I'm going to get rid of smoking weed. Okay, now I got rid of that. Awesome. Okay, now I'm going to get rid of coffee just to see what that's like. I want to get rid of every little thing that might be numbing me, right? So it's the journey of improving yourself. This is what we need. Now, I want to get into the next part of this, which is I'm not condoning weed as an evil thing. I'm not saying it's an evil thing. I'm not saying alcohol is an evil thing. Though it might be, but I'm not saying that it is. I know the next time I have a glass of wine, I'm going to love it. I'm going to like, it's going to be amazing because I love wine. I love beer. I love whiskey. I love tequila. They're delicacies now to me. They're not, I actually get to enjoy them. Unlike before, I wasn't able to enjoy beer because it was all the time. You can't enjoy something when it's all the time. You can enjoy a new pair of socks because they're new. But the socks that I've had in my drawer that have holes in them that I've had for the last 7 years, somehow, I can't enjoy those socks. It's the natural ability to enjoy it isn't there. And so the moment you take the thing away, now it becomes delicacy. Now you can enjoy it. I can enjoy my homegrown tobacco now. I can smoke that and enjoy it and not be addicted to it, not be attached to it, need it all the time, every day, or every time I'm done at a job, or every time I'm taking a lunch break, or every time I get done eating. You know, I don't have that craving. I don't need it. So I can pick it up when I choose and I can enjoy it. And it's going to be the same with alcohol. I don't need it. And, you know, this doesn't go for people that struggle with alcoholism. That's a different beast, right? Those people need to never drink it. But for the people that, for the people that just need to get a grip of their life and get that clarity on what they need to do to better themselves, quitting everything pleasurable is a great way to start. And I don't mean quitting everything pleasurable all at once. I just mean one thing at a time. One thing at a time. And as far as getting stupid with alcohol, you know, if you and your friends decide to have a night where you all are going to get freaking messed up or whatever, you can have that agreement where it's like, okay, we're going to get stupid tonight. Let's just have fun getting stupid. But you don't want to make a habit out of that, because now you're just making a habit out of being stupid instead of making a habit out of being a great man. It's like you got to practice the things that you want to be. You got to look at the future of your life and you got to say, this is how I want to be. This is who I want to be like. You know, look at examples of great men that you want to be like. And do the little things you can do to get yourself there. But if you're getting drunk every night, you're never going to get there. If you're getting high every night, you're never going to get there, because you're never going to get the awareness that you need to become the person that you want to become. Because it takes awareness. You have to become someone who you are not. You have to be willing to change. I'm going to go unload this, and then we're going to work on kindling. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I am restocking because my wife is going to pop at any minute now with our second baby. And I don't want to have to be gathering wood and stuff after babies here or during labor or anything like that. So I'm just stocking up a crap load, putting it behind the house so that it's there when I need it, so I can have a fire going 24/7 to keep the wife and brand new baby nice and warm. So anyway, let's take this and then we'll do some kindling. Whoa. Frozen logs don't like to be, I mean, it's just spongy. Usually that thing will stick, no problem. I mean, it's just a piece of pine. All right, I'm gonna grab some cedar. Life is so much better if you aren't dependent upon things to make you feel better. What I've learned from being a 25-year-old and not drinking is the fact that now I see so clearly that there are other things to make you high in life. There's other things to give you that enjoyment that you're looking for at the end of the day. There's a special nature inside of all of us to create beautiful things, to come up with beautiful concepts, to build connection with other people that aren't based on superficial social BS like drinking or bars or having sex. Or, I mean, there's so much deeper content in this world. It's not all TikTok, you know. Some of it is hour-long YouTube videos of old men talking, sitting down on a rocking chair in a field. I mean, I love those videos. Those guys are freaking amazing. They're sharing their life's knowledge, and it's a big inspiration for making a video like this. I know I'm only 25, but I'm the only person I know. I'm the only guy I know my age who has kids, works for himself, has a successful marriage. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm so blessed to have all these things. I'm so blessed. And the story of how I got it all is just nuts. I mean, it's nuts. I shouldn't have any of what I have, but I want to share, you know, what I'm learning, because I'm on this journey of really figuring out what life is all about, what it is to truly live, what it is to truly be alive. And I think we all need to embark on that journey for ourselves. And my journey is not your journey. My opinions do not need to be your opinions. And, you know, if you don't like what I'm saying, you really don't have to. That's okay. There's a billion people out there saying stuff you and I would both hate. Who cares what they're saying? So we've talked about alcohol. We've talked about weed a little bit. I feel like I didn't say too much about weed. Basically, it makes you dumb, but people think it makes you more creative, more fun. I don't know. Maybe it does for some people, but being a very creative person myself, weed only ever got in the way. And in my opinion, you need your brain on full capacity. You need everything on full capacity in order to be the best vessel for greatness to travel through, because it has nothing to do with what you're coming up with, what you're writing, what you're thinking of. It has everything to do with your ability to be there, present, with the skills that you've acquired to, precisely play a guitar chord or precisely be able to write a sentence. That's the skill. But the rest is being available and fully present and aware, so that whatever this most beautiful thing in life is, this creative energy, can move through you. And that's what makes the most beautiful creations in life happen. It's being available for that energy to move through, acquiring the skills you need to have in order to help that move through in whatever way you want. So I'm going to finish the video like this. Enjoy your alcohol, enjoy your weed. But know that if you do it every day and every time you do it, you are numbing the greatness inside of you. And you're actively putting things in the way of finding out how amazing you can be and what kind of value you can actually put out into the world. And get curious to what kind of person you could be a year after not drinking. What kind of friends you would have after a year of not drinking. What kind of money you'll make after a year. What kind of focus you'll have. What kind of drive you'll have. You'll be a whole different kind of person. Get curious on what kind of person that is. And let that curiosity grow and turn into a big fire. And as you do that, you'll naturally want to stop buying beer to drink every night. You'll naturally get inspired and get the drive to find out all you could be. And you'll learn self-reliance, self-resilience, self-respect. You won't need a course. You won't need a mentor. You won't need a coach. You'll do it all on your own. And you'll be stronger as a result of it. So that's it. If you want to become a more creative human being in all ways, so that you can create the life that you want, because we're all creators here. If you can create anything you want in life, then you can create the life that you want. I created a free questionnaire to help you figure out all the ways that you lie to yourself and help you figure out all the things that you could do to better your life and in place of the things you use to numb yourself. If you want to go on that journey of, I want to get rid of these bad habits and I want to do better habits, but you don't know where to start, that's why I made this. And it's all the questions I asked myself during the last year of really trying to figure out what my purpose is, what my true love is, as far as creating, as far as everything, making money, having relationships, what I'm really trying to do in my life. And that's what this questionnaire is for. It's free. Link is in the description. And if you have any questions regarding anything that I mentioned in this video, if you want me to go a little more in depth on any of these topics, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to explain a little bit more, because I know it's easy to just say a thing and then one person will be like, well, what the heck does that mean? And then they need a little further explanation. And I'd be more than happy to do that for people who are just trying to understand. So that's that. The sun is up. I must continue my work. And thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Bye.